This program was made possible by our sponsors and contributions to BLAW by viewers like you.
So welcome. It's my understanding that you are trying to decide on forming a business entity. What kind of business are you in?
Right now, I'm just a sole proprietorship, and I have a Christmas light hanging business here in Lincoln. Scott is planning to join this business also, and he has his own successful birdhouse business on the side that he runs in Iowa, which is where he lives. But when it was just me, there was not really a concern for any liability, so that's why I remained a sole proprietorship. But I don't really know Scott, and he doesn't know me, and we haven't worked together, so we just want to limit our liability so we're not liable for each other's actions.
And I really don't want to risk my birdhouse business if for some reason this brilliant idea doesn't pan out.
Okay. So will it just be the two of you, and will you have equal roles in running the business?
Yeah, for right now it's just the two of us, and we both like to remain principals.
Okay. So since Scott is a foreign investor and you both are looking to limit your liability, you're probably looking at either an S corporation, a C corporation, or an LLC. So with that in mind, what is the end goal that you are trying to achieve with your business, and will you need investors in the future?
Yeah, so we really want to be the go-to company for providing like holiday cheer in Nebraska. To do that, we're going to probably need to expand, and that would entail getting warehousing, and to do that, we probably need a loan. So we need some investors. Probably a loan from a bank would be where we're going to go first.
Because we definitely don't want to lose any ownership in the process.
Okay. In that case, member-managed LLCs and corporations are great for getting financing because of all the formalities associated with them that build trust for the banker or in bankers' eyes, and you can also decide what your management roles will be. So, what do your current projected profits look like, and how will you be splitting them in proportion to your contributions to the company?
The company has a lot of startup costs, including just supplies and equipment, and then like Scott had mentioned, in the future, getting a warehouse of some sort. And we anticipate making significant profits in about 6 years, but right now it's pretty much just all eaten up with costs. But we're planning on splitting our profits about 70-30 just because I'm the founder and have contributed the most upfront at this point.
Okay. Are either of you making money outside of this company?
Yeah, I've got my birdhouse business that was mentioned before, very successful. And then I've got a few other like side investments that I've been invested in.
Yeah, I also have a handful of investments that I've been making a significant income through, and we would both, I think, like to take out some money once we start becoming profitable, but for the time being, just wanting to minimize our taxes.
Okay. So since you don't foresee making many profits in the short term, you could consider using the losses to decrease your individual tax burden by treating your company as a pass-through organization. So as you mentioned previously, there could be significant profits after 6 years. So member-managed LLCs are great because you have the opportunity to choose between being taxed as a pass-through initially and then eventually switching to corporate tax or tax rates once you become more profitable. So
yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. So one last thing, will you be operating outside of Nebraska? Because state law isn't entirely uniform for member-managed LLCs, so that is something else to consider.
I think we're going to stay in the state. We don't want to compete with my birdhouse business in the holiday seasons when I have those special seasonal birdhouses, you know.
That's fair, that's fair. Then in that case, a member-managed LLC is a perfect fit. So as far as the next steps go, we can work on the articles of organization that we need to file with the Secretary of State, and any of the pre-formation contracts you can adopt by the LLC through novation once the Secretary of State has filed the articles of organization.
That sounds great. We're ready to get started.
Let's go.
We interrupt this broadcast for a message from our sponsor, Bradley's Birdhouses. You've got a bird, we've got a house.
So it's my understanding that you're here today to select a business entity for the business that you currently have. Can you tell me a little bit about what your business is and who you are as well?
Yeah, so we represent right hangers. We are kind of like tech meets fashion, so it'll revolutionize the way you wake up in the morning with our right hangers, as they're called, and the fun app that goes with them. We expect to see a lot of profits pretty early on. It'll be good.
That's great. Can you tell me a little bit about each of you? Because I'm assuming you both want to be the principals and what your roles are going to be, as well as what your current contributions and the contributions that you're planning on making will consist of.
So as of now, I think it's just going to be the two of us, and we both have other businesses that we don't want that we have now, so we don't want to be involved in the day-to-day operations of Bright Hangers at the moment. And we also want to make sure that the success or failure of the company doesn't affect our other business entities. So as of right now, we are both equal contributors to this endeavor.
Great. It sounds like an LLC, a corporation, or a limited partnership is the way that we're going to want to go because they all have limited liability. So for an LLC and for a limited partnership, you have the option to select others as your managers. But it's important to note that for an LP, you must have both a general and a limited partner. So if you both were wanting to be limited partners, you would have to take on an additional partner to be that general partner for you. As far as corporations, you would be able to serve as a director, and you could elect officers that would be considered the day-to-day operations of your business. So you had mentioned early on that you would be making profits pretty quickly and that you both have successful businesses of your own. Are you planning to take out your profits from the get-go, or were you hoping to reinvest in R&D?
Early on, we're anticipating kind of a high amount of R&D. We're going to have to revamp the application and expand the type of hangers that we offer as well.
Yeah, so because you are hoping to reinvest, it would probably be best to avoid personal taxation just because you would be taxed on the money that you wouldn't actually be seeing just yet. So because of that, it kind of narrows it down to an LLC or a corporation. So at that point, I guess, what is the end goal that you're trying to achieve?
Well, we want to keep growing. We know that this company has a lot of potential. So our biggest concern right now is really funding. We both have domestic and foreign investors lined up already, but they aren't interested in really investing in our company for the long haul. So we also know that we'll need to raise more capital in the future for further R&D and keeping the company as more competitors enter the market.
Yeah, a great way to get your angel investors their return pretty quickly is to have an IPO after a few years, which would also provide you with some additional capital to further grow your company. So with the type of investors that you currently have lined up, a C Corp sounds like it's going to be your best option.
Awesome. So what's the next step?
Yeah, so first we'll need to select the state of incorporation. Delaware is a pretty common choice just because of the favorable business common law that's there currently, but it's totally your choice where you want to incorporate. But if you do incorporate there and you'll be operating outside of Delaware, you'll have to file a certificate of authority in order to operate in Nebraska. It sounds like you already have your company name picked out, Bright Hanger, I'm guessing, but we'll have to add incorporated at the end of that once we have filed the articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State. So also we'll have to choose a registered agent. Do you know yet who that would be? This would mostly be for correspondence and paperwork's sake.
Yeah, I'm not very good with keeping paperwork organized, so we're going to have Michael do that.
Great, I'll help you start on those then, and the next step will just be scheduling a shareholders meeting so that you can create bylaws. So yeah, if you'll just follow with me, we can fill out forms.